table book because sport forms part of the country's fabric and it dates back decades here in South Africa. The book, South Africa's 100 Most Famous Sports Photos, captures some of the country's most proud moments in black and white as well as in full colour. In our Cape Town Sea Point studio, we're joined by the author and publisher Peter Gallo. Peter, a very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us here on Morning Live. Do you want to tell us a little bit about where the idea for the book came about?
Morning, Valen. Yes, thank you very much. We have a huge collection of sports photos going back 100 years. And on a regular basis, people say, oh, but could we have a copy of this or could we have a copy of that? And so we came up with the idea of putting them all together in a book and really selecting what we thought were the most 100 most famous and hence the book.
Let's speak a little bit about that selection process because we have had so many great moments, feel-good moments when it comes to sport in South Africa. How did you guys choose to come up with these 100?
Well, some of them obviously sort of chose themselves. If you think of Francois Pienaar and Madiba at the World Cup, and you think of John T. Rhodes and that famous catch that he took, and Chad Leclos at the Olympics. So really what we did is we went back and we started in 1950. We thought that should be the start date. And then we went through some of the great moments. Most of them are great moments. Some of them are very unhappy moments. If you think of Hansie Cronje, if you think of the run-out of Alan Donald in the World Cup. But that's really how we did it. And then we worked very closely with SuperSport, who also gave us a huge amount of input. And in fact, there are more than 100, but we think that's fairly representative. We're very open to anybody giving us any further ideas. So, please come forward if anybody had an idea of what we may have left out.
On page number 6, you guys have got a very famous photo of Nelson Mandela as an amateur boxer, and we all know his love for sport. He was not only a participant, a sports fan, but he also used it as a tool to unite the country. Where did you guys get hold of that amateur picture of him?
Well, that was we worked very closely with Getty Images. And Getty have probably the most comprehensive archive of photos in the world, and that was in the Getty archive. It's a very famous picture, obviously, now. So that's where we got it from the Getty archive.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about another photo that we also see in the book? And it's a very intimate moment where we see Ernie Els looking at the claret jug, the second time that he won the British Open. I mean, not many people get access into the cloakroom.
Absolutely right. Again, that was one of the Getty photographers. And one thing I must say is that our photographers have very close relationships with the sports people. So the sports people trust them to take the right photograph, as it were. And Ernie invited a Getty photographer into the change room after his win, and that was an exclusive photo to us. So it's something very special.
Did you guys make a concerted effort to show the variety of sports? Because not only do we see football and rugby and cricket, but we also see surfing. We have Sean Thompson in there. You guys have Jody Scheckter. You have athletics. You've got the Olympic Games. So you've really gone across the board and really highlighted some South African stars that maybe, people forgot about or are not in the mainstream sports.
Absolutely. The other one you could have mentioned was Graham Pope Ellis in the Doozy canoe marathon. He was an absolute legend. So yes, we really gave this a lot of thought. It probably took us about 2 years from conceiving the idea to actually putting all the images together. So we went through every major, every minor sport, and really wanted to capture the great photographs in any sport.
Peter, how has the book been received?
I think it's been received very well. We've already reprinted twice. It was only released in June this year, I think more and more when people find out about it, they find it's a really lovely a book to have in their collection. And obviously for this Christmas, hopefully a wonderful Christmas gift for the sports lover in the family.
All right, lovely stuff. Peter Gallo, who is the author and publisher of the book South Africa's 100 Most Famous Sports Photos. Thank you very much for chatting to us from our Sea Point studio.